I have to repair this Koolaire ice machine that has a bad TXV. So I figured I'd record the process, show you how I go about getting it done, and hopefully it helps you out. If you're trying to diagnose a Koolaire ice machine that possibly has a bad TXV, there is a video on the channel. I'll try to figure out how to link it to this video so that you can see what the diagnostic process is for the TXV. Obviously, when you're doing anything with a refrigeration system, you want to connect your gauges and get all the refrigerant out of the system. So I ran into a little bit of a snafu, but we're going to make it work. The new TXV does not match the old TXV, and the way the inlet of the TXV is on the old one, the new one don't match. Let me show you real quick. So this is the new TXV, and it'll be mounted just like that. The old TXV comes in here, but on the new one, it comes in the bottom. So I need to route this down and go in. I don't have a lot of length. Luckily, I have this straighter with a little bit of extra 1/4 inch on it. So I'm gonna probably unweld here and bring it down, or I might just cut it here, put a swedge, and then make this into a little bit of a loop-de-loo so it goes down and goes in. But we're gonna have to play with it a little bit and see how that works out so that when this guy gets installed, it looks like that. The recovery process is all done. Both of my high side and my low side are in negative pressure. I'm gonna clean this up and get rid of it. I'll be getting rid of this and this, sending them out to the van. When I recharge it, I'll be recharging with Virgin R410A. So it's not always gonna work out perfectly, but I think I figured it out. Let me show you what I'm gonna do to try to make this work. Got my TXV. I made a U channel. So this one will go in here. I'll weld that probably outside of the machine. That way I can set it up just like this, cover the TXV head in, what do you call it? The Viper wet rag, this guy right here. So I'll cover it entirely, weld this like this. This guy will be swedged open so that I can connect it right there. I'm gonna unweld it here, try to straighten this out, and then use my tube cutter and try to save as much of this stem as possible so that it can bring it down. I can kind of pull this down a little bit. If you see, this one's kind of looped up. So I think this whole kind of section will pull down. I'm gonna unweld here. Unfortunately, I'm going from copper to stainless steel, which is sometimes a pain, but I'm gonna try to figure it out. Sometimes I would, unweld here, weld this outside of the machine, but I'm gonna give this a shot. And this whole setup's in my way, so I'm gonna try to pull the ice machine out a bit. Before I weld, I am purging with nitrogen. So I have this side out. I can feel a little bit of nitrogen coming out of this end of the machine. Do the TXV first is my plan, and then come around this side and dig back there behind the compressor and do the filter dryer. I'm probably gonna end up taking off that whole back panel, getting it out of my way, and kind of shimmying back here and getting that done. So my plan is to straighten this guy out. If I bend it a little bit, it's not a big deal because I'll just replace it all. So just like that. And I'm going to cut right here along this piece of copper, and then I'm gonna swedge it so that my U will go right into it. And then, like I was saying before, the outlet of the evaporator can come down quite a bit. Tube cutter right here. The only reason why I straightened it out was to make it easier to cut off. And then I'll use the Black Max tube expander. I'm not affiliated with Black Max. This is the first tube expander I ever bought and hasn't really failed me. So it's what I use on a regular basis. It's a really good product. So cut that off. There's my old TXV. The only thing I really don't like about this Black Max tube expander from CPS is it's kind of hard to get into some of the tight spaces. Before I expand this, I'm just gonna deburr a little bit. Sometimes I have trouble with the 1/4 inch. It'll go in, and then when I go to expand it, it wants to slip out, which is unfortunate, but let's see if I can get this to work without cracking as well. Sometimes it cracks on me. I think I just go too fast. I've gotten in the habit of kind of expanding a little bit and turning and expanding a little bit and turning. And that one didn't crack. So let's see what it looks like when I set up my new TXV, the Danfoss TXV. So this one will go in here in the bottom. This one will go in here. This one will go right in here. That actually goes in there really tightly. Probably going to give it a shot, try to do the welding inside there. Now that I know that more or less works, I'm going to definitely 100% do the bottom weld over there on the cart, because it's always been weird for me welding copper to stainless steel. Having it upside down and using gravity to my advantage is going to help. For this one, I'll do my best to do it inside, and then obviously copper to copper will be super easy. Just blow that in there, give you a better look at what that setup looks like. So the idea when you're welding copper to stainless steel is to not put very much heat on the stainless steel, or it will blow a hole. So I usually try to heat up my copper until the solder melts, and then just kind of whip it down, and that has always done well for me. So just like that, the puddle just kind of falls into the groove. Capillary affects its way, kind of seals up that gap. This is what it looks like when you're all done. Not a lot of heat put on there. You do want to try to cool it off as fast as you can. We don't want the head of the TXV or the body of the TXV to overheat, but so you can see what that weld looks like. Nice and sealed all the way around. Nice and pretty, not too much heat. Should be relatively quick. Now I can do this weld inside the machine, and I'm gonna do my best to do that one inside the machine. I don't know if I'm just overthinking it, but copper to stainless steel welding has always been kind of like a tricky process for me. Cool that down as fast as I can. Definitely gonna need to leak check that. Just got done leak checking with the Big Blue Sub-Zero. I will try to link this in the description as well in case anybody needs it. Sprayed it all around my weld and leak checked. Didn't see any bubbles. I do have it pressurized with nitrogen. I think I did it to 250. Leak check this one as well and this one. So this is all good. Obviously, later in the video, I will be connecting this all, insulating it, putting the insulation around the TXV. But for right now, I'm gonna change the angle this machine is, kind of turn it the other way, take off the back panel of the ice machine so that I can get to the filter dryer, pull out the filter dryer, and replace that. I do need to depressurize. I've made the mistake before where I started welding before depressurizing, and that is a bad situation. There's about 7 or 10 screws that you have to take out. I want to show you what I do to give myself as much access as possible. And if you're like a super tech or something and you're able to do this part of the job without removing this panel, kudos to you, you know. But for me, I like to just make it as easy as possible. Taking out a couple of screws to give myself access is the best way I've found to do this. You can just let this panel hang and throw it on when we're all done. Now I have plenty of access to the filter dryer. I can just come back here, do this weld, and then still have access to put my gauge on, because when I charge it with refrigerant, we want to charge through the filter dryer, and then the last little bit of refrigerant that's in the hoses, you can suck that in through the suction side, but for charging purposes, we're gonna send it through the filter dryer. Try to cool it down as fast as I can, get it capped. The less time this thing has being open to the environment, the quicker the vacuum is. Getting ready to fire on the vacuum pump. I have my high side hose connected to the filter dryer straighter or service port. When I recharge, I'm going to charge through there, so I want to pull a vacuum from there as well. Vacuum gauge, low side. I think I'm just going to go ahead and cut it on. I haven't really opened this yet, but just hit the power switch. And I'm going to turn this guy on. Everything's open. I double checked all of my ports are closed, or all of my connections are nice and tight. We're gonna let this pull down until we get to 500, and then we'll talk about recharging. I have to leave the back of this machine open for right now. After recharging, I'll button it all up. I will also be putting the insulation on the TXV, mounting the bulb. The only thing that's really important about the bulb is it should be horizontal with the copper line. You don't want it up top. You don't really want it on bottom. You definitely don't want it, cross-hatched. We got down to the 450, below the 500 that I was originally targeting, which is totally fine. As long as you get to 500, I think we're good. I'm gonna go ahead and swap this setup to get ready to recharge, kind of show you what my process is, and then just cut it loose, let it go. I need to push this machine back into place so that when this thing clicks on and dumps water at the beginning of the cycle, it doesn't dump all over my ground, because right now my drains are right here and my floor sink is over there. So I have to push it back, run it, suck the refrigerant in through the low side after charging through the service port on the filter dryer, and then pull it back out to put the panel on, disconnect my my refrigerant hose, and then button it all up, make sure it makes a couple batches of ice, and then we'll be good to go. Here's my process. Close off the suction side. My charging hose is closed. It's closed down on the bottle. My scale is zeroed out. I will take this off of the tank so it doesn't cause any malfunctions. So when I'm ready to charge, I'm gonna close off the vacuum, click the vacuum off, open this up, and then open up the shut-off valve right here. And then we're shooting for 18 ounces of 410A, 18 ounces, which is 16 ounces is a pound. So we're shooting for 1 pound, 2 ounces. Close that, cut that guy off. Like I said, I need to push this out of the way. My scale is not zeroed, so let's zero that out. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and open this guy, open that guy. As soon as that gets to 18 ounces, one more, little bit extra. So now I need to push the machine back into place, start it up, suck all the refrigerant in through the low side because this hose and this hose is gonna be full of liquid refrigerant and we don't wanna waste that. Push my machine back so that those two drains are over the floor sink. I did end up getting some water on the ground because when I moved it out, this was full of water and got all over the place. Plugged it in, so now I'm gonna turn it on. Once it starts up, I'm going to close off this shut-off valve back there, which I could probably honestly do right now. Have that closed so that I can pull the refrigerant out of this line, and I'll pull it through here. Right now that's closed. This is gonna be closed. It doesn't really matter because this one's closed, but once it starts up, we'll see if it makes ice. Water is draining. Hopefully everything starts up. Yes, my panel's hanging down here, but it's not that big a deal. Everything's enclosed and pretty secure. With my low side pulling down the way it is and started my timer over there, I can slowly crack this open to bring my high side down. Oh, I tightened it so much. And obviously we don't want to feed too much liquid. Actually, we don't want any at all. We just want to meter it in. Pretty soon my high side will be down in the 50-60 range like the suction side is. I can't really see it because of where this soda rack is, but you can actually see the liquid refrigerant bubbling through the sight glass in the middle. So just like that. So now we're fully open. Both the high side and the low side are at, the same pressure as the suction. I'm gonna reach back there, put my gloves on because it's gonna be at high pressure. I don't want it to spray all over me. Take it off, put my Schrader on, let it make a cycle, see if it drops, and be good to go. Just cycled into harvest. Make sure the ice harvests. Just trying to catch the ice dropping from the evaporator. Brand new machine should slide right off there any second now. There you go. TXV replacement on a Koolaire ice machine. Took about 4 hours in total between getting here, set up, tear down, putting everything away. If you didn't watch the diagnostic video, I will try to figure out how to put the little box on the screen so you can watch that. Everything went really smooth. I didn't know that the inlet and the outlet of the TXV, the old one compared to the new one, were going to be in different places. Luckily, I was able to make it work. So if you run into this issue on your own, be prepared. Have a little bit of 1/4 inch copper handy. Very important to charge through the filter dryer in the back of the machine. Watch a couple cycles. Everything went really well. Not really much to it. Once you've done it, one time or seen someone do it once or twice, it's actually pretty simple. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, reach out to me. I reply to every comment. I reply to every email. The only exception is sometimes I'll get an email that says, my ice machine doesn't work, what's the issue? And I'm like, well, I don't even know what brand it is, the make, the model, what part of the sequence you're having issues with, when's it failing, what are you seeing? Is there a specific component maybe that you think is supposed to be energizing, but it's not? If you have any type of questions like that, Let me know. Stay safe out there. We'll see you on the next video.